Sup, my name is Ryu for the TheYugiohCouncil. Many of you wrote in about a certain deck on the last Guide to Your Side video, and that was Greydoll, or Greydle. It has two different spellings. They're a parasite kind of archetype. They're really cool and interesting to say the least, but they're very hard to kind of counter when you first see them because, hey, they have 9 freaking Snatch Steals. Now, there are two things I want to address real quick. One is because I don't know if you guys are clear about this. Guide to Your Sides will come out on either a Saturday or a Sunday, and then the following week we'll go to a card versus or a pack versus, and a week after be another Guide to Your Side. Eventually there'll be one Guide to Your Side per month, but for right now, because we're just getting back into the swing of things with Guide to Your Side, we're going to keep it going 2 times a month. So get your request in. The next one is the Mega Monarch video, because I know that is a very, very dominant deck right now, and I want to get that video out. But the Greydoll was requested a little bit more than just the Mega Monarch, so this time, Greydoll. So, primarily the archetype works on going to the graveyard and then equipping to your monsters and stealing the shit out of them. Works kind of well with Kaiju. Kaiju. Just want to make sure I said that right. So, they're very, very interesting archetype. It's going to be a little bit before we get them. There's something really cool in the whole thing, but there's one giant flaw that I saw when I saw this deck. I was like, okay, that's a really cool thing, but it's got that, like, I don't want to sound the wrong way when I say this, it's got that Dark World kind of syndrome, where it has a really good game one, but it gets so hard, like, it's so easy to side against the deck, and obviously the deck's going to be able to side, but you can side so hard against it that it's going to have a hard time winning game 2. So I'm going to give you the knowledge you guys need to know and the cards that you should look at for siding against this matchup. So let's start with the obvious. Macros Cosmos. Any card sent to the graveyard is going to be banished instead, and then this is going to give you, obviously, they ran your monster. Cool! You ain't getting my monster because you're banished, you're not hitting the graveyard, therefore you can't use your effect. Therefore, your 9 Snatch Steals, you're going to have to MST this shit first. Now, again, they can chain MST to it, so you have to be very, very careful with Galaxy Cyclone. Dimensional Fissure is also another companion to the Macros Cosmos that you can run. Both of these are limited. I know what you're saying. Both of these are limited. That's why they made Banisher of the Radiance. Anything sent to the graveyard, and this guy's got 1600 attack, anything sent to the graveyard is going to be banished instead. Oh, you still need more banishment? Well, there's Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. Not super duper great option compared to something like Banisher of the Radiance, but it's a little bit slower. It also helps in the Infernoid matchup. If you're having a problem with that deck, you can just drop Kaiku, win the game pretty much, because they have to find a way to jump over it. If they can't jump over it, then they're losing the game. That's pretty much a premises. But against Greydle, Kaiku doesn't really do as much. I wanted to mention it anyway because they utilize their graveyard so much. So there's really good outs. Kaiku is an option you can run, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Mind Crush works because all the times that they do search out of the deck, they have a lot of search power. Mistake also works against this deck, Mistake and Rest. But the big primary focus on eating up this matchup and just going, so good, you gotta basically banish your stuff out. So stuff like DD Warrior Lady, that you could just banish monsters out where it's not a problem anymore, but they have to ram into it. Again, another issue. Dark Law is an option that you can run if your deck can support it. Basically, Mass Change second. Sound like Black Wings, you can actually side it in with your Dank Laws and then play your Dank Law, and then it changes the whole momentum of the matchup, and your opponent won't know really what to do unless they've gotten used to it and have 2 Dark Holes and a Raigeki. And honestly, that's probably what they should to jump over these, common threats. But mass removal is going to help you in this matchup like no one's business. So Dark Law, Macros Cosmos, D-Fisher, Banisher of the Radiance, those are the best of the 4 right now. Mistaken Rest, these are common things that help you against the meta currently and can also help you in this matchup alongside with the banish removal stuff. Now, if your deck can't support those 4 cards, don't worry, I have you on a few more options. There's Different Dimension Crow, or as most people know him, DD Crow, where basically any card in the graveyard, you could, I believe you could chain the effect, because it starts a chain. You can banish out their little parasite, and then they can't steal your monsters. So every deck can run a DD Crow without any real issue. If you run something like Harpies, you also get the benefit of using a Icarus attack with it, so that's something really sacky and fun you could do with it. My favorite trap card, in all seriousness, to run as of late is Dimensional Prison, because anytime they go to ram your monster, then you could just banish it out. Armades also works really nicely against this deck to a certain extent, but Dimensional Prison, if they go to ram, you could just banish it out. It's not an issue no more, and then they have nothing to really like come back from. Caius, the regular Monarch, the regular Caius, the one tribute Caius. I say this all the time, but people get really like defensive. You have one normal summon and massive unlimited special summons. You can use that one normal summon on something like Caius in this matchup to utilize to banish out. Now, you only get the one banishment. I know, I understand this. It's a thing that sucks. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Deal with it kind of situation. But Caius is another option where you could banish out one of their cards. Now, again, the one banishment, you want to go for the mass removal. But Caius is another option. And you can also play with Mass Change a Second to go Danklaw. And then you have unlimited banishment. And all you gotta do is just tribute a special summon monster, play Mass Change a Second, discard one, and you can probably plus off that discard if your deck actually can utilize that and go from there. It seems legitimate. The other thing, the big be-all, end-all card that works against this deck to no extent, it's just probably my favorite on this whole thing, is Dimensional Ground. Any card sent to the graveyard this turn is banished instead. So it's kind of like a one-turn Macros Cosmos. And basically what you do is you flip it up and you just send them all into the grave. And then you just gotta like hold off, set your D prisons, and when they try to make a comeback, you just do it. Now, another option that I will mention after different Dimensional Ground is No Mana Crossout. But let me just finish talking about Dimensional Ground real quick before we go off topic and why that is another viable option to a certain extent. Well, there's actually two, but I'll go into the reasons why it breaks up the combos. Dimensional Ground is one of those cards that basically works not just against Greydell or Greydoll, however you want to say it, because there's two different ways of pronouncing it currently, because it's two different names. There's Greydale and there's a Greydoll. So basically, different Dimension Ground hurts you for that one turn if your deck is super heavy on utilizing the grave. So something like Ying Zing. So pretty much what you want to do is you want to just make your play, get your stuff into the graveyard that you need into the graveyard, flip this, and then just swing over anything and everything they have. So this way, you get the benefit of sending everything to the graveyard, well, everything that would be sent to the graveyard to the banished area, and you're also protecting your own stuff. So the way you utilize it in that, that way is going to help you win. And it shouldn't really be a problem for any deck to run it. And it's a super cheap card on eBay. I think it's like $2. So you can, or $5 the most. You can definitely get a playset right now for a fairly decent price. No Man Crossout. If they set it face down, you can banish it out. Not a super viable option, but it's an option. Swords of Concealing Light. It breaks the Parasite, and then the Parasite has to go to something else, obviously. That is, it's an option, but not the best. Your best options in this whole matchup is going to be mass removal from the graveyard. So anything that removes from the graveyard, it's good to go. Macros Cosmos, D-Fissure, Dark Law, I call them Dank Law, Different Dimension Ground, Banisher of the Radiance. Those are like the best 5 out of this whole thing to take away from this video. Those are the best 5. If there's anything else that I missed out, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you want to see on Guide to Your Side, because you guys do help create this series. And I will see you on the next video. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Check out the videos in the annotations. And for my mobile friend users, those are in the comments.